All right, let's get right into it. If you're a project manager, there's probably one big question on your mind about AI. How do we actually use this incredible tool without it blowing up in our faces? Without it derailing our projects, confusing our teams, or even damaging our own careers? And yeah, this quote, it really hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? It captures that anxiety perfectly. Look, the problem for most of us isn't that we don't believe in AI's potential. It's this nagging fear that it might do its job a little too well, pushing us towards an answer that's super fast, sounds incredibly confident, but is just flat out wrong. And you know what? That is a totally valid concern to have. So, to really get a handle on this, we need to frame it in a way every project manager understands. We've got to talk about risk. Because let's be honest, whenever you have this much power, you also have the potential for things to go very, very wrong. And wrong often means expensive. This right here is the main idea we've got to wrap our heads around. AI isn't just another app on your desktop. It's a massive force multiplier. And what that means is, yeah, it can amplify your best insights, but it can just as easily amplify your worst mistakes. That kind of power, it demands a whole lot of respect and some very careful handling. And here's the bottom line. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what the AI spits out. The accountability for every single project decision, from the budget to the timeline to how you talk to stakeholders, that still rests squarely on your shoulders. It's all on you. And that's exactly why just using AI isn't good enough. We have to dig a little deeper and understand how it actually, well, thinks. Which, of course, brings us to maybe the oldest rule in all of computing, a rule that has never been more important than it is right now: garbage in, garbage out. It's that simple. The quality of what an AI gives you is 100% dependent on the quality of what you give it. Okay, this part is so important to understand. An AI doesn't know things like you or I do. It's not some magic crystal ball with all the answers. Think of it more like a prediction engine, a really, really good one. It takes your prompt, scans its massive library of data, and just predicts the most statistically probable next word, and the next, and the next. It's world-class pattern matching, for sure, but it is not genuine knowledge or understanding. So when we talk about what you give it, what does that even mean for your project? Well, it's the stuff you work with every single day. We're talking status updates, risk registers, cost reports, stakeholder feedback, even those really emotionally charged emails. Now, just imagine, if that source material, if that garbage in is outdated or inaccurate or full of bias, what do you think the garbage out is going to look like? And here is the real danger. The AI is not going to look at your messy, complicated risk register and magically clean it up. It won't fix your underlying problems. Let's say your historical data shows that projects in your department always run 15% over budget. The AI isn't going to flag that and say, hey, you should fix this. Nope. It's going to see that as a pattern, a rule, and it'll just build a 15% overage into every single forecast it makes from now on. See? It just accelerates your current reality, flaws and all. It doesn't create a better one for you. Okay, so with that foundation in place, let's dive into the 3 biggest hidden risks. These are the things you really need to be watching for every single time you use AI in your work. We're going to cover 3 things: amplified bias, so-called AI hallucinations, and the big one, data privacy. First up is bias. And let's be clear, an AI isn't biased because it has personal opinions. It can't. It's biased because the data it's trained on and the prompts you feed it are absolutely packed with our own human assumptions, our viewpoints, our blind spots. The AI is just really good at finding those patterns and serving them right back to you. This can end up reinforcing old assumptions or just completely ignoring other valid perspectives. So your job as the project leader isn't to just take what the AI gives you and run with it. No way. Your job is to challenge it. You have to be the one to step back and ask the hard questions. Okay, does this really make sense for my specific project? Who on my team would disagree with this? And what's their point of view? What are we totally missing here? That critical thinking, that is the essential human skill that keeps this bias in check. Next up, let's talk about this term you hear all the time: hallucinations. It sounds kind of spooky, right? But it's not malicious. The AI is not actively trying to lie to you. It's just, when it doesn't have enough data to give you a real answer, its predictive programming kicks in. It basically just fills in the blanks with what it thinks should go there. It's a very, very confident guess, but it is not a verified fact. And that is exactly why you, the human, have to validate anything that's mission critical. Okay, and that brings us to risk number 3. And this one comes with a simple rule that is absolutely non-negotiable. I want you to burn this into your brain. If you wouldn't email it to someone outside your company, do not paste it into a public AI tool, period. Think of these tools like you would any external consultant. Would you just email them your company's secret financial data? No, of course not. So why would you paste it into a prompt? And just to be crystal clear, that means absolutely no client names, no internal financials, no personal employee info. No top secret strategy documents, nothing. Putting that kind of stuff into a public AI is just a massive security and privacy disaster waiting to happen. It's a bright red line, and you just can't cross it. All right, enough about the problems. We've identified the risks, we know what to watch out for. So now let's switch gears and get practical. How do you actually use these tools safely and effectively on a day-to-day basis? Let's walk through the playbook. Think of this as your quick 5-point safety check. Before you act on anything an AI generates, just run through this list. First, was the data I put in safe to share? Second, does this output even make logical sense? Does it pass the sniff test? Third, have I actually stopped and critically reviewed it? 4, would I be comfortable standing in front of my boss and explaining this? And number 5, the big one, am I ready to be held accountable for this decision? If you can give a confident yes to all 5 of those, you're probably in a good spot. Let's make this real. Imagine this scenario. You've just finished a big feedback round, and you have a mountain of comments from stakeholders. Some are great, some are, well, not so great. So you ask an AI to summarize all of it and suggest what to do next. And boom, it gives you back this perfectly clear, super confident, direct recommendation. Now, what do? You don't just copy and paste that into an email to your whole team, right? No, this is where you, the human expert, come in. You're the one who reviews the AI's logic. You're the one who adjusts the tone because you actually understand the sensitive politics and relationships with these stakeholders. And you're the one who pulls your team together to validate the assumptions before anyone takes action. That's the perfect partnership. The AI gave you the speed, but you provided the wisdom. That is what responsible AI use looks like. And that really brings us to the final and maybe most important point. This is a mindset shift. We're not just talking about following a checklist so you don't get in trouble. This is about professionalism. It's about leadership. Because using AI ethically isn't really about being scared of what could go wrong. It's about actively building and protecting trust. Trust with your team, trust with your bosses, and trust with your clients. When you use these tools responsibly, you're not just ticking a compliance box. You are actively demonstrating leadership. So let's recap the big takeaways here. First, the quality of your data determines the quality of your results. Garbage in, garbage out. Second, you have to watch out for AI amplifying your existing biases and errors. Third, your confidential data is, well, it's confidential. Keep it that way. And finally, never, ever forget, the buck stops with you. The accountability is always yours. So I'll leave you with one final thought to chew on. This isn't just about how you use AI. It's about the example you're setting for your entire team. Real leadership isn't just about jumping on the newest tech bandwagon. It's about showing people how to use these powerful tools wisely and professionally. So the question is, how are you going to model that for your team?